back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Swivel Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circlebar-Burkle, here with my co-host today, Aaron, Siege, and Reagan. Go ahead and say hi, guys.
Going
Hey
on?
guys,
All
what's
right.
up?
In this video, we'll be talking about the upcoming game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Last game of the NFL season, um, where the number 2 seed in the AFC is going to be on the line. Um, but for Buffalo, it could also be
Yes.
a winner go home game for them. As if they lose this game and then Pittsburgh and Jacksonville both win, then all of a sudden Buffalo finds themselves out of the playoffs. So, Aaron, what's made this turnaround for Buffalo possible this season?
Well, it's a little more offensive consistency. I mean, Josh Allen's kind of started taking care of the ball a little bit more, and I think that's really kind of been the big thing. They've sort of figured out defense as well. They had a lot of injuries early on in the season, got some guys back, got some replacements, some good reps, and built up that chemistry. So I think that's been the biggest change so far.
I think Stephon Diggs' recent play this season is concerning.
No, I mean he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. He can if they can get him involved, you know, which I don't know why they don't more often, but I I, I think they should obviously find him get him the ball as much as possible.
Right.
But I don't know why they're not.
Yeah, I mean, top probably 5 receiver in the league, or at least he was going into the season. Obviously, involving James Cook has been huge for them recently, but I mean, I just don't understand why Stephon Diggs isn't more involved in the offense. So, Reagan, what are your thoughts on the Dolphins?
With Miami, first of all, I got to give credit to Mike McDaniel. What he's done over there is pretty incredible. Look, getting Tyreek Hill was a big deal. I think that was kind of the missing piece for them. They needed that explosive firepower at the wideout position, and they did. Of course, at the expense of the Chiefs. But guess what? The Chiefs did do pretty bad on that return. Okay,
Trim
so
McDuffie's nice.
I would say, remember in the NFL, one of the biggest things I always harp on is adjustments. That an offense can be really good no matter what, but adjustments happen in the NFL, and those defenses, especially with good defensive coordinators, they will find a way to stop you or at least minimize the damage. Right? I think Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, that's probably the best duo in the league, fully healthy this year. You could probably agree with that. I think Mostert's got 21 touchdowns, correct? 21, 22 touchdowns. I mean, something like that. Yeah, he's been explosive this year. Remember, he's a really good receiving back. He's really speedy, and that's a speedy offense, right? And I think when you get the right guys on offense, it works. And I like Tua. I like the swagger he's kind of gotten this year. I like the confidence. I like the ability to trust his receivers, to trust the play call, to trust the process. I really enjoy seeing that. Now, of course, look, Raheem Mostert is banged up right now. Jalen Phillips out for the year, their best defensive player. Bradley Chubb now torn ACL out for the year, non-contact injury. They still got Jalen Ramsey. This game, besides the game of my team, is the game I'm wanting to watch. This is in Miami. I think I want to say, because by the way, after Ken Dorsey was fired in Buffalo, everything changed for some reason. I thought it was Sean McDermott, but maybe it really was the Ken Dorsey problem. But I want to take Buffalo in this game, but I just think Tyreek Hill is going to have one of his masterclass. I think he's going to cook Teron Johnson, if you can believe it. Teron Johnson's a good player, but you remember Tre'Davious White is out for the year. He's not here. I just think in terms of the development of that team, going back to your original question, I just really got to give credit to that front office, to that head coach. When you have a good culture in place and you get the right guys in the right system, I mean, it can explode like this. And I think Miami's going to be good for the next 5+ years.
Definitely looks like Miami is going to be one of the top tier teams in the league, at least in the AFC for the foreseeable future. Mike McDaniel is a weird dude, man. He's so funny, but he is a weird guy. And I think it's funny because him and Tua's personalities, while they're not like drastically different, I feel like they're also not very similar. Uh, Mike McDaniel seems like he's super like laid back and chill all the time, almost like he's stoned 24/7.
Mhm.
And then Tua's got kind of like that competitive edge. Seems like a really clean cut guy. Not that doesn't seem clean cut, but
Just like Bill Belichick.
yeah, a little like Bill Belichick. Really
Way
straight
funnier
laced for the
way.
most part.
Way funnier way.
But yeah, in a way funnier way. He seems like a guy that you'd much rather want to go out and have a beer with than Bill. But kind of going back to that, I mean, he's got kind of like
Right.
he seems like a fairly
I
straight
think
laced
that
guy, but
I think that works for Tua though. I think it brings out a little bit of like creativity into his play style.
okay.
Like
Yeah, I
you kind of
agree.
see a more fun aspect to the game for Tua now, and I think it works in his favor because I think he's very analytical about himself and very like harsh on himself and how he plays. And so I think that dynamic between him and Mike McDaniels actually plays to his advantage.
Yeah, obviously Mike McDaniel's loves to have fun out there. He makes the game fun for his players, so that's always a guy that you would love to play for sure. Um, so I guess in that sense, he's a little bit different than Bill Belichick. But as far as his personality goes, I feel like you were right, Reagan. There is kind of some similarities there, especially with the media. He's really like just monotone and kind of quick-witted, but snarky. It's funny to watch the man talk to the media, but
You have a
I
feeling?
I feel like I gotta go with the Bills in this game. I think they've got the playoff experience, and Josh Allen seems like he's due for a Super Bowl, but Aaron, how many times have I said it in the past? Every time, Josh Allen kind of starts riding that high, eventually he hits that apex, and then he starts going down. That whole roller coaster situation I've been
Is
talking
he gonna
about
be
with
up
Josh
here?
Allen his entire career, but for the very least, at the very least, the last couple of seasons. So I think all of it kind of rides on Josh Allen's shoulders this weekend. Um, can he lead the Bills to the 2 seed? And I think if the Bills lose this game, and especially if they end up missing the playoffs, I think we got to take a really good look
That
at
would be interesting.
Josh Allen's legacy
That would be interesting.
and really just kind of figure out where he actually stands in the NFL hierarchy. So, Aaron, what's kind of your feelings going into this matchup between the Bills and the Dolphins? Do you think that? Do you have kind of the same feelings as me about Josh Allen? Do you think he kind of becomes the centerpiece of this whole story, or do you think it kind of ends up being more about the Dolphins and their injuries over on that end? Because obviously they're going to be hampered with tons of injuries. Um, I think they're missing like 17 players or something in this game, which is crazy when you're playing for a 2 seed or a 6 seed in Miami's standpoint. So, yeah, what's kind of your opinions on all of that?
Yeah, kind of like you said, Buffalo's kind of been on a bit of a streak. Won 4 straight. Granted, Chargers, Patriots, both of those semi-close games. Two
Yeah.
not really great teams as their last 2 wins. But I think the big story is some of these questionable and flat out players for Miami. I mean, Bradley Chubb, as we talked about, just tore his Achilles.
Right.
Xavier Howard's doubtful. He's a big part of their defense. Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert, both questionable. But with all that said, I do tend to lean Miami. I think they get it done and get a big win against Buffalo.
Wow. Well, yeah, I just think it's going to be a lot for them.
Yeah, I want to extend on it a little bit more because there was something else I missed. I think Miami wins this game. I don't think it's a blowout. I do think that this is. I think this is probably a touchdown. I could see 2 touchdowns. I'll give it that. But here's the difference maker, guys, in my opinion, from Miami's point of view. Do not let Josh
Oh,
Allen
yeah.
get hot with his legs. Do not let him run. If he runs wild on you, the game's over. I'm telling you, the Bills, I actually kind of like watching the Bills because their dynamic's so interesting. He's got a top two
Oh, for
arm
sure.
in the league, in my opinion. I think it's Mahomes and Allen. I think those are top 5 legs too. And he can beat you with the arm, and he can lose with the arm. But if you let him have his arm and legs, you're done.
Yeah.
It's over. Because then that's another. Remember that having a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson or something like that. That's another dynamic and potent
Oh,
X
for
factor you
sure.
have on offense that can add to the damage. And so I think the one thing you're going to see a lot with the Miami is probably a lot of spies. You're probably going to see a lot of man on the wideouts, and then you're probably going to see because you got Jalen Ramsey and Stephon Diggs. You could probably afford to go man and let guys hover in a cover 2 spot in the middle. You could probably let that happen, right? And I would probably say Gabe Davis is nice, but like I said, you probably want to. I mean, you're right. Pick your poison, but quite frankly, I would rather stop Stephon Diggs and take my chance with Gabe Davis over the other in the round. But like I said, stop the legs. If you stop the legs, Miami wins this game.
Yeah, obviously Josh Allen top 5 in both categories, but
I agree.
Siege, got anything else to add?
I don't think I really have much else to add. I mean, the one thing that concerns me in this game is like y'all said, the people that are out for Miami. Um, I do think Miami's going to be angry about last week's game against the Ravens. So I think you could see like an attitude change and heightened performance out of them this week against the Bills. The Bills kind of have a faux 4-game win streak playing
Yeah, I agree.
the Chargers and the Patriots, like Aaron said. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, they're hot, but they're hot against not great teams. So it'll be a good game. I don't really have an opinion one way or another, or lean one way or the other with who's going to win, but that's pretty much where I'm at with this game.
Yeah, we should be expecting a really good game between a couple of really great teams.
It's gonna be a good game.
So,
It's gonna be a good game.
but in case y'all got anything else to add, I think that'll do it here for us here at Swivel Chair Sports, the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. I've been your host, Zach Burkle, here with my co-host today, Aaron, Siege, and Reagan. Go ahead and say bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
That'll do it. Deuces.